Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Christy, and it is time to get cooking. Well, I've been cooking today, guys, and look what I've made. Pierogies. Oh, I just love these. I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step and show you just how to make them. And if you don't know what pierogies are, they are a staple in Eastern European countries and are well loved all over the world. And they come in a variety of fillings, but today I'm just gonna do a basic potato and cheese. I'm going to make the pierogi dough, and it only uses just a few basic ingredients. So in a large bowl, I have 4 cups of an all-purpose flour, and I'm going to add just a couple pinches of salt. I have 1 cup of water and 2 eggs, and I'm going to add my eggs to my water and then just whisk them together. All right, then I'm going to pour that in my flour, and then 2 tablespoons of sour cream. All right, then I'm just going to take a wooden spoon and stir this together until it forms a dough. All right, I'm going to kind of work it inside of my bowl here a little bit. All right, then I'm going to sprinkle some flour down onto my counter. Dump my dough out. And I'm going to knead it just for a little bit, just until it's a smooth dough. All right, then I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap and just let it sit on my counter for about 20 minutes. All right, so my dough has been sitting on my counter now for 20 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half and then cover up the half I'm not using. I'm sprinkling some flour down onto my counter here. Then I'm going to roll this dough out. Okay, so that is looking good. You want to roll out your dough until it's pretty thin. You don't want it to be paper thin though, because you are going to be putting your filling inside, and you don't want it to be so thin that it just busts open. Then you're also going to need a round cookie cutter, and it just depends on how big you want them. You can make them as big as you want or as small as you want. I will say that the smaller ones can be a little bit more tricky to fill. So I like this one. It's, I think, around a 3.5 to 4 inch cookie cutter. And then just cut out your circles. All right, all the scrap pieces here, I'm going to save these, put them under the plastic wrap with my other dough. All right, so what I have here is my cheesy potato filling, and I made this earlier and then kept it in the refrigerator. But let me show you how I've made it. Boil 5 medium russet potatoes until they're fork tender, and dice 1 medium-sized onion, melt 2 tablespoons of salted butter in a skillet and add your diced onions. Cook until they are tender. When your potatoes have cooled enough to handle, then you can begin to peel off the skin. And then just slice them in half and put them in a separate bowl. Now I like to use a potato ricer, but you can use a potato masher if you want. Add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and then add your sauteed onions, 2 ounces of a cream cheese, 3/4 of a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, a good pinch of salt and black pepper, and then just stir it all together. So what I'm doing now is I have a 1-ounce scoop, and I'm just scooping some of this potato filling right in the center of each of these dough circles. All right, so next is the tricky part, and that's folding this dough around the potato filling. But don't be intimidated, don't be scared. They don't have to look perfect. Just be gentle, take your time. You kind of want to push with your thumbs the dough and then kind of just fold that dough around, making sure that both sides come together so that you can pinch them together. And that's really all there is to it. Now, if you want to take a fork and kind of crimp the edges, you can do that also. And I'll show you what that looks like. And just go all around the edge. Just like that. All right. Then I have a baking sheet here that I have lined with parchment paper, and I'm just going to place my pierogi onto that baking sheet. I'm going to take my thumbs, push it down, and then fold it over, and then pinch all around the sides. All right, so now I'm just going to do all the rest of these, and then I'm going to roll out the other half of the dough, cut those circles out. You know, making pierogies does take a little bit of time, but it's well worth it. All right, so I just finished my first batch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop these in the freezer while I work on the second batch. All right, so now my pierogies, they are ready to cook. One of the things that I love about pierogies is the fact that you can freeze them. They make a good amount, so if you freeze them, all you need to do is just place them on a baking sheet, line them out on some parchment paper, and then just place them in the freezer until they're frozen, and then you can just gather them up and place them in a Ziploc bag. So I have a large pot of water, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil. But before I do that, I'm going to salt my water really good. So I'm just going to place my pierogies right down into that boiling water. And when they are fresh like this, not frozen, they only take a couple minutes. When they start to float to the top, then you know they're done. Now, if you are using the frozen pierogies, it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. It may take about 5 minutes. They've started to float, so I'm just going to remove them and place them in the strainer back here. All right, and some people, they like to eat their pierogies right after they boil them. However, I like to have a nice crispy pierogi, so I fry mine in butter, but you could also fry them in bacon grease, and that would be delicious. All right, so I'm just going to drop my pierogies into this skillet here with some butter. All right, guys, it is the moment that I have been waiting for all day long, and that's to eat these delicious pierogies. Oh, they're so, so good. Now, I like to have a little bit of sour cream with mine, but that's completely up to you. These are amazing. They're so, so good. If you love pierogies, you gotta try to make these. All right, guys, well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope that you give these a try. One thing I love about my channel is just sharing a wide variety of recipes, and some are a little bit more challenging than others. So take that challenge, try to make these, and let me know. God bless, and I will see you soon with more delicious recipes. All right, guys, so I'm gonna do something that I have never done. I have some of the pierogi dough left over. Don't have any more potato filling, but I do have a can of cherry pie filling. All right, this might be a little bit more challenging. We'll see. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of sugar to 1 tablespoon of butter. All right, so here is the moment of truth. I'm gonna give these cherry pierogies a try. I have never made these before. They look good, they smell good. That's pretty good. It's kind of fun to experiment and try things you've never tried, and this is new. And they're really good. I like them. All right, well, I just wanted to show you guys another option, cherry pierogies. Who knew?